Salutation, SireVerse, and it has been a long time since I've been on camera, but I have a good reason.
Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like...
I was busy. Moving on swiftly, for those of you who don't know me, I am Michael, or Sir Eli Vladimir, or Sire V, whichever you want to call me, but I am the author of all of the books that you're probably seeing on screen right about now. As a result, a lot of my friends and family have asked me my opinions and tips on how to write, and I figured that I might as well just put it into a video. That way I can just put it out there. Our first topic for this mini-series is going to be character interaction. More specifically on how characters interact with their settings. Or I guess in other terms you could just probably call this reaction. This technique is used to demonstrate the contrast between what is normal and what is strange. Now, it sounds pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised on how many shows, movies, and stories don't actually put character reaction, or at least the reaction that they should have. Let's say that everybody in your story is a magic user. Now, if somebody uses magic, they're not gonna be that surprised when it actually happens. It's just a day in the life. Unless you're Harry Potter for some reason. He will never get tired of seeing a house get repaired. But regardless. Now, unless somebody's using like dark magic or unforgivable spells or something along those lines, no one should really have a reaction as to why someone is using magic if everybody has magic in the story. What is strange is your new normal, so now you're going to have to figure out what is strange in your story. Now, if magic is uncommon in your stories, everyone should react as if magic is some sort of fantastical, strange thing, because it is. It can't be explained, hence why it's so uncommon. Now, I'm going to give you a good example and a bad example of character reaction in two movies that I have seen recently for research for this little video. One was a lot more fun than the other. You'll see what I mean. Now, recently, I watched a few Hayao Miyazaki movies, my favorite being My Neighbor Totoro, but that's my opinion. But in one of them, I found a really good demonstration of character interaction. In the movie Howl's Moving Castle, the opening scene shows us this giant structure of iron and steel billowing smoke and crawling across the landscape, and it is weird and strange to me, but the first thing that anyone does when they see it is wave at it. Okay, now it might just be my opinion, but if a giant dragon crashed down in front of me, I wouldn't wave at it unless it's a normal thing. This little interaction, I don't even know that guy. That tiny little dude right there, I don't know him. He doesn't have a name in the story, I don't think, but he waves at it. And that tells me that this is a completely normal thing around here. Like, it might be strange to see a moving castle, but it's not strange to them, so I should change that into my new normal. The castle is normal. And if you watch the movie, yeah, the castle is pretty normal compared to everything else. A scene or two later, we zoom into a hat shop where we see a bunch of women talking about Howl, and once they spot his castle, they all rush to the windows and start gawking at it and talking about it. And yeah, that just furthers the point that it's normal. Everyone is interested in it except for Sophie, but there's a point to that. She's the only person in town that's not actually interested in Howl or his moving castle, and that's exactly how people should react. She's so desensitized from the castle that she doesn't even bother looking at it. That's how normal this castle is. Which is weird to say. Again, this shows really good character reaction and interaction with the setting because it shows the character traits of everybody who sees the castle. It's very early established that the castle is normal, whoever reacts to it is interested, except for Sophie, so that automatically makes her the main character. However, there are some movies that don't demonstrate this well, that show you a character who really should be reacting to stuff a bit more. And this example is Twilight. Yep, Twilight.
Blue, you are very good at being an example.
Now, in the first movie, Bella develops a crush on Paley McStoneface here, and she does a little digging on why he is so odd or strange. Turns out, the guy's a frickin' vampire. And she doesn't do anything, really. She just meets him in the middle of the woods. The possibly bloodthirsty monster she meets in the woods. Alone. Isn't your dad a cop? Have him go with you. Train a gun on the guy. What? I don't understand why she goes alone or why any of this is normal to her, because it's not established that every other person is a vampire. Like in True Blood, I'm pretty sure that like vampires are a normal thing there, but not everybody in Twilight is a vampire, unless I've been reading that book wrong. Like, I just wish that she would do something like smile or freak out or anything a human would do, but she doesn't. I think she might be a vampire already if she hasn't freaked out at this time. Nah, I'm just gonna go get a piggyback ride with him. Yeah, that sounds good. You see, character reaction is the reason why we get pissed off at characters in horror movies that don't react the way they should. Creepy Creeks? Better go check it out. Killer on the loose? Yep, let's split up and cover more ground. House is possibly haunted? Nah, let's just videotape us getting murdered for posterity. Now, I'd be a hypocrite if I talked about this stuff and not put it in my own books, and I did, and I will show you. I actually have two examples. Kick the tripod. I actually have two examples that I'm going to show you. In The Reaper of the Reaper, Todd is having a conversation with his English teacher about how his family is a bit different than most, and this is after an altercation with a giant six-legged wolf. Hold on, I interrupted. For starters, how does attempted murder count as capturing me? Miss Tyson and Brown looked to each other, but didn't draw up an answer. And secondly, why would capturing me have anything to do with the whole life and death thing? Because Miss Tyson prepped herself for what she was about to say. You're most likely going to be next in line to be the Grim Reaper? She said it more like a question. Nope! This is where I get out of the loony bin. Corbet, from my Queen of Dolores series, reacts similarly. After being followed around by a woman made of lava named Loddle, they have this conversation. Are you alright, my queen? Loddle placed me on my feet, bowing her head. What are you talking about? I brushed off the leaves from myself. You are the rightful heiress to the kingdom of Dolores, Loddle explained. It took me a moment to figure out what she had said. That combination of words wasn't something I was quite expecting. Me. I'm supposed to be an heiress. Dolores. Like from the Lightatone? A woman made of lava? There was only one way to react to this exact scenario. Bye-bye. I turned away and headed towards town. In conclusion, character reaction can show the contrast between what is normal and what is strange. And it can either immerse or take out a reader, viewer, or whatever of your story, depending on how you do it. So I hope this was super helpful for you, and I will be making more videos like this format in the future. And let me know in the comments or message me on Facebook or Instagram on what you want me to make the videos about. So with that being said, until next time, bye!